We are live. I see us on Facebook.
Are we?
Yes.
I see you waving now.
I'm going to share to the group if I can make sense of where I'm at here.
Well, yes, you and Steve do the shares. You know how it rolls every month. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm at. I'm just saying. So
That's
everybody,
every day. What state am I in? I don't know. What day is it?
well, you know, it's funny because for those of you that do not know, we actually do this in Zoom, which maybe you do know because I think it puts the little Zoom icon out there. And then we stream it over on Facebook. And yours truly is the one that does that. And you would think this is our 7th episode. You would think that I would have this down pat by now, but I keep hitting the wrong buttons. But Rona says we're live. I'm sure I need to find chat so I can see if Steve says we're live. But Rona.
Yes.
Welcome to our 7th episode on Quilt Babble Live with Lisa and Rona. Woo woo. So this episode is, Steve says we are live. Yes.
Yeah.
This is part 2 of the agonizing hole that we dug ourselves in. Part 2 of getting your sew room or your crafty room organized. Now, I'm going to make 2 observations right off the bat. 1, there's no quilt behind me, so the veil has came down. And 2, I see stuff like not a blank wall behind you. That means you've done some unpacking.
Yes, I have done some unpacking and organizing. I do have a couple of boxes still remaining, but that's because I don't have a place for them yet. I'm
Right.
still working on them. So
well,
you got to give me a little slack.
I was going to say, didn't you tell me you ordered some shelving and the shelving units haven't came in or something?
Yeah, I ordered a shelf because the way this studio is, and we're going to share pictures in the comment section as we go along. But there's this like giant bare corner in my studio above the television. So I wanted to put that up there with some fun, inspiring knickknack things that I have. And so I ordered a shelf. It's a specific corner shelf that'll go there. And then I'm trying to find so what I need still to put away is all of my batting. I have this huge, large packing box size box full of batting, packaged and, scraps from previous quilts. So those, and then I have a whole bunch of patterns that, because obviously I sell patterns that are my designs, and I have a huge collection of them on hand for when people order them. I can ship them out. Right. But right now those are all in a box, neatly organized in said box, but I'm hoping to find a dresser or something to put them all in. So
let's talk about the batting real quick. This has nothing to do with the organization of, but the other day in the shop, someone was asking how much batting, like we talk about our fabric stashes. What is, they was asking me, what is my batting stash, or what should one's batting stash be? And, hearing you say how much batting you have, I would love for people to comment in the below, telling us what their batting stash is like, because this was my answer. I usually have on hand 1 batting that is of throw/twin size, no bigger than full, just 1 that's still in the back unmolested. And then I do keep all of my batting that is left over from squaring up my quilts or whatever project, because I use those in little tote bags or, handles and that kind of thing. So I think the ladies that was in earshot of this conversation kind of give me the look of, that's all I have. So is that weird?
No, I don't think so. Okay, so generally speaking,
hey,
you can see my husband. That's him in the background. He's been helping me with the organization. We still have some shelves to put, or not shelves. It's a pegboard thing that we need to put up. Anyway, so batting, we'll do this in two ways. So
Okay.
before I started actually designing quilts and making a bunch of quilt samples for the patterns and things, I would actually only buy batting per project. So as soon as I finished a top and was ready to do the sandwich and everything, then I would go buy the batting for it.
That's kind of me.
And then, right. And then any of the scraps that were left over, same thing. I keep the scraps for making bags or placemats or whatever fun little things I'm going to do. So, but now that I'm actually on the designing side and I make a lot more samples and things, I actually purchased batting, we'll say by the roll. But when I say by the roll, I mean like the giant,
like the long armors
roll. Yes, like long armors do. So, and actually that's what I do. When I get a roll, I send it to my long armor because that's where I'm sending my tops, and she keeps it at her house. So, and then lets me know when it's dwindling down. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I do it. In fact, outside of long armors, I don't really know a lot of people that have like huge stashes of batting. Although, when I worked at Joann Fabric years and years ago, whenever batting would go on sale and we would get our employee 60% discount, I would stock up on that stuff.
Yeah, I could see that definitely. For me, one, I don't have that much room to store, full size, queen size, king size battings and in bulk, let's say. And then two, I don't know. If I'm going to spend money, I'd rather spend it on fabric. And then, like you said, when my project is done, then I'll go get the batting, but I don't want to bulk hold batting other than my scraps. I love my scraps. It was funny because, so back to our organizational thing we were talking about. So when I was going through my stuff, I had a section that I was putting my scrap batting in, right? But then as I started going around the room and doing this, I would find another grouping of scrap batting and another grouping of scrap batting. So I was freaking out. This was probably a month or two ago. I was doing placemats, holiday placemats, and I was struggling to find big enough sizes of batting. And I was like, God, I can't believe I've used up all my scraps. No, clearly Lisa Renee just forgot a couple of hiding spots. So now that I've went through everything, I was really pleased that I have this whole drawer now of scrap batting, and now I can just play away. Yeah, it was funny. I was like, okay, score, find number one. I found extra scrap batting.
I'll tell you a really funny quick story. So when we first moved to Charlotte in North Carolina, where the house that we were at that very first winter, we lost power. And there was snow coming, and it ended up being, we didn't lose power, I'm sorry, we lost our heat. Something happened with the heater. They were going to have to order a part. It was going to take 3 days. And the snow, I mean, it was freezing, snowing, everything. And so we had a fireplace downstairs, but it only heated one room, that room that it was in, not the entire house. So I pulled out my batting and we actually taped it to cover the windows to help keep the heat inside the house, and it worked like a charm.
So, ladies, the moral of that story is when your husbands complain about your stash batting, remind them this is in the event for the one time in 10 years in the Carolinas that a snowstorm comes and your heat goes out, you got it covered.
Exactly. See, always prepared.
Always prepared. I wouldn't have probably thought to do that. That was actually pretty smart, but definitely. So, Steve says it could save your life. That's funny. Yeah, it was going through this organizational challenge, and y'all that are out there watching, I hope you, even if you have not finished the process, I hope you at least started the process, because I had actually started the process a couple weeks before this whole thing even started, and before Rona and I knew this was going to turn out to be the challenge that it was. I learned a lot about my sewing room, and I found stuff that I had forgot that I had, and and different stuff. So Rona, give them the news of, we know that the deadline is passed for after pictures, but do you want to give them the update?
Well, so we're not sure. We didn't get a lot of after pictures, so we're not sure. And now my dogs have come downstairs because it's playtime because I'm talking. So apparently that means it's playtime. Anyway, so we thought that maybe we didn't, because we did share a few posts online about, you know, when the deadline was, but so we have decided that to give you guys and us some time, we have extended the deadline. So you don't, or so if you haven't gotten your after photos into us by now, then you can send them to us. You have until April 30th. And then April 30th, Lisa and I will go online real quick for a quick 5-minute live. These are the winners, you know, that sort of thing. So April 30th. So you got another, week and a half?
Yeah. By midnight on April 30th, send them in. Someday that week, Rona and I are going to coordinate our schedules, like she said, and we're going to hop on Zoom and real quick, 5 minutes, boom. This is, our 2 winners, because remember, we've got the prize from Moda, and then of course SewEndipitious is going to do a $25 gift certificate. Now Steve has probably been posting, as Rona and I have been talking, some before pictures. I don't know if he's posted after pictures, but these are just some that came in privately that was not posted on Facebook anywhere. So we did want to throw them in the chat tonight. Don't panic, ladies. We did not attach any names to them. So you're still anonymous. Unless you want to tap in and say, hey, that's mine, you know, that's on you. But we did keep your name. Not every picture that we received is going to be in the comments tonight, because maybe you posted them on the Traveler Quilters Facebook page, or you post them here on Quilt Babble Live, or maybe you post them on SewEndipitious or Citizens of SewEndipitious. Maybe you posted them on your own personal page and tagged us in it. But just know that all the pictures that are being posted tonight in the comments is not all that we received.
So Steve just posted, Steve said he can't, there's something going on. He can't post them in the comments. So he's creating photo albums. So at least he's working on it. We'll get the photos up. He's working on it.
Once again, we are going and rolling with the punches. That's what we
do best.
Yeah. Before we start talking about Rona, the things that you and I encountered during our process, I haven't had a chance to really share this with you, and I'm sure you probably have like stories to share with me. But I cannot tell you how many people literally just even 3 days ago either called me, messaged me, emailed me, popped in the shop and told me that they loved our last episode. They loved all the hints, tips, and tricks and the antics that we pull while we were talking about this, and that it was really inspiring. One of the ladies that did just reach out to me from Michigan just a few days ago, she's like, I just now got a chance to sit down and watch the last Quilt Babble live. And she was like, it was just so inspiring. So I'm going to start now. I know. I love that. Now I will tell you, some people told me, well, let me back up. I know it for a fact, because some people went outside even their quilt room. Like they started organizing their clothing closets or their drawers. And it was so funny because after our episode, within a few days, different ladies were popping in the shop and they were like, I was cleaning out such and such. Do you know anybody that would like these patterns? You know, I have these quilt tops that I haven't quilted, and you know, if you know someone that wants them, or I would like to donate this to the guild or something. So did you hear like stories as well where people were just so inspired?
I did. I have actually. I got a couple of responses from my last newsletter that I send out. I always get lovely responses from people because I mean, quilters are awesome, right? But yeah, several people commented about the last Quilt Babble live and being inspired to get going and stuff that they've been putting off forever. But then also what was funny, earlier this month, I was at a quilt shop, the Angola quilt shop out here, giving a lecture. And towards the end of the lecture, I was talking about things that were like upcoming, you know, events coming up and stuff like that. And one lady in the back, she goes, "Tell them about Quilt Babble." I'm like, yay! So that was
I
for
love
awesome. But
it.
yeah. So
I
yeah.
love it. It's so true. You know, the thing is we all have goals, no matter what they are, right? Whether they're business, personal, it could be the smallest things. And sometimes it is so challenging, but when you know someone's going through the mud with you, it makes it easier. So I will tell you, we've moved this quilt shop out of here over a year ago. Obviously January made 1 year that we were in, and I just had not, this room was so destroyed, I just did not have it in me to even walk in here and really start putting it together. So thanks to Steve's big mouth, and I can say that because I know he can't come on camera tonight, thanks to Steve's big mouth, Rona, and throwing us under the bus. You know, my challenge was not with everybody else. I just wanted to beat him. So I think he told me tonight I did, because I think I don't even know if he got started. Don't throw him under the bus.
Okay, so my camera may not work, but I can talk. And you are absolutely right. You are way ahead of me. I haven't got started, but I'm actually sitting here making arrangements to get some stuff taken out. With this new deadline, I think I can make this one.
Okay.
He's going to take advantage of the extension.
Yes,
Right.
and I've uploaded my before photos. So yes, I've just got to, I think I can make this happen.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. But Rona, our whole life, the competition between us, well, I don't think he cares to be competitive with me, but maybe his little sister. I will do anything in my power to beat him at all costs. So that was my motivation, and it worked, because look behind me. I don't have my quilt, Rona, hiding the mass chaos of these. And of course, my before pictures are out there, and I'm not done, because so like, for instance, if you see here, there is a board going here, whereas here is a big space. So these are the shelves that all the fabric was on. So they were all that 26 inches or whatever to put fabric bolts, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, books are not 26 inches deep or long, I should say, and a lot of other stuff. So I did get this shelf added in recently, and maybe one behind me that you can't see. So I still need a few more, you know, to bleed in there to where I can put stuff, because they're just so long. But you'll see in some of my after pictures, I actually sorted my fabric by color. That was fun. I've never done that in all these years. I usually group them by, like, these are my 30s fabric. These are my, you know, 1800 reproduction fabrics. These are the, I don't know, I just loved it fabric, you know? So yeah. I did leave my 30s fabric and my, you know, Civil War fabrics together and that kind of stuff. I didn't break those up, but everything else I did break into colors. And so it was funny, because I'm not a blue person, but I think my blue bin, my blue bin was my biggest.
Oh my, so it's funny that you say that about how you separated them by color. So the fabric, my fabric, you can see the shelves behind me there.
Yeah.
So all of my fabric, or well, not all of it. So half of my fabric, the yardage, we'll say, a lot of it that I probably won't use, or it's extra that's not really assigned to a project yet. That's actually, those all go in my studio, and I fill up my shelves for on camera with those.
Yes.
But then the fabric that are in the buckets behind me, or the boxes behind me on the shelves, those are almost all of them are separated by project, or the scraps are by color, and then not size, just color, all sizes into one. And then I have one big tote thing of all holiday fabrics, And then I have one big tote of like my favorite extras that like I have all of my frond fabrics together. I don't know if you guys, frond was the video that went up on YouTube last week. I mean, oh my gosh, her fabrics are amazing. So, but yeah, that's generally how I separate them, is by project mostly.
Yeah. Now I do have, well, I think, no, wait a minute. Can't see them here. Maybe I can tilt, hold on. So yeah, you see those clear plastic totes right there. So I have some of those on both sides, because pretty much the shelves you see here, I've got them on the opposite wall. Because once again, this was a makeshift quilt shop. But those, I do have them by projects. It's either projects that are waiting to be started or projects that are, you know, UFOs, let's just say it like it is. I've always done that. And then of course my Wizard of Oz fabric is always separate from everything else, because why? It's Wizard of Oz. Definitely. So yeah, I'm like you. I do separate out things that I don't want it to go in the general mix, because I don't want to accidentally use it, because it is intended for something else. And I actually had that portion already organized before this challenge. The only thing I didn't have was the other fabric and put into color. And then I will tell you with my scraps, and when I say scraps, I'm talking, you know, whether they're this small or this big, whatever, just like true scraps. I did put them all in like a pig trough, no lie. I found this, it's really supposed to be a cooler where you put ice in your drinks for your barbecue. Because that's the season we're in, right? Well, they had a couple of those. They literally look like pig troughs to me. So I have one of those literally right behind my sewing machine. So anything when I'm cutting, if it's all going in there, doesn't matter what color, for like applique and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Steve just said that he's got all the pictures. They are on the Quilt Babble page. So if you go to the Quilt Babble Live Facebook page, you can see the pictures up there. Because I know, so in our video last month when we were talking with Brandy, the Quilter on Fire, and she was talking about repurposing things that you've already got, or thinking about ways to store and organize, an object doesn't necessarily have to be used for what it was intended. I actually found there was this, it's kind of like a shelf, but it's got these wire drawers in them, and there's 4, and they're about yay deep, and they're about yay wide.
I love yay measurements.
Yeah. Well, I can't exactly pick it up and show you, unfortunately, but so we have had this shelf thing for probably, I'm going to say 4+ years, and it was never put together. I mean, it was still in the packaging. I remember it being in our shop at the old house and like back in a corner, and I'm going to use this one day. So the day finally came, and now it's sitting right next to my cutting table, and it's perfect because I can throw my scraps in the top bin. And I am a person that I cannot just work on one quilt at a time. I have to be working on multiple projects. So the other drawers are for the other projects, and it's all right here and neat and organized, and yeah. So
fabulous. So you shopped at Rona Mart.
I did. And I found this other thing that I really want to use it, but so the room that we're in right now is my actual new sewing studio. I call it my dungeon because it's in the basement. But the ceiling, it's the basement ceiling is not exactly sturdy enough to hold a lot of weight. But do you remember back in the day, the hanging fruit baskets that were metal, and they were like 3 layers of them?
Yes.
I have my grandparents.
Oh,
I still have it, and I want to. How perfect would that be for like jelly rolls and stuff like that, and the pre-cuts?
Just some eye candy.
I can't hang it from the ceiling down here, so I'm trying to come up with a way to use it. Maybe hang it from a shelf or something. I don't know.
Could you do one of those and Steve probably knows what I'm trying to say because he does this stuff more than me. But one of those garden hooks that you drill into the wall, but it comes out. Do you know like a hand?
Yeah. We might be able to do it if we find a stud. We'd have to find the actual like stud in the wall because again, basement, the walls are,
Oh, are they center block down there, you think?
No, they're sheetrock, but they're not, I mean, it's just basic, walls. There's not a lot of heavy studs behind them because it's in the basement. It's underground. So,
Got you.
and Stefan said that there's a gap between, like, especially the ceiling. There's a gap between the ceiling and then the upstairs floor. So there's really no, way
Right.
to put that in. But we'll see what happens. We'll figure it out. I'm determined to use it because I love it. And
Yes, and it's got sentimental value. How cool is that?
yeah.
So what else, as you were going through, did you like, what was your surprises? Did you have any surprises? Or since you just packed and moved, you really didn't have surprises of, oh man, I forgot that quilt that I haven't finished, or
Okay, so actually I went through all of that when we were packing. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I still have this one. Or I never finished that project. So the biggest surprise, and you're gonna laugh, when I was unpacking, because the studio is done, the sewing area, well, mostly, except for the two things we're waiting on. But so next on the list is my filming studio and office. And that is a disaster. But I had to do some filming last night for a new episode of the YouTube channel. So I had to really quickly makeshift a filming corner. So I had to put together a brand new shelf. I hung up a quilt on the wall, and I got this table cleared off so I could set up the camera and lighting and any of that. So I was going through the boxes that were sitting on that table. I had no idea that I have so many frogs. I was trying to decorate the shelf that is behind me, and I was like, I kept pulling out, there's this frog, there's this frog. I mean, I thought I had a handful of them, but no, I probably have about 30 or 40 different types of.
the Ribbiter. Let's just be real.
Shocker, right?
I
But
was
that was
getting ready to say,
honestly, the biggest surprise was exactly how many frogs I have.
I can't believe that surprised you, because if I was helping you unpack, I would not have been surprised by that at all. Definitely not. Like I said earlier, one of my biggest surprises was that I actually found more scrap batting than I thought I had. And then I was really surprised that I really don't have a lot of fabric. I've never, I think
You
because
can
when
shop at your own store.
well, no, this was even before that. I think, so when I started to quilt, even though I have many generations of quilters in my family that came before me, right?
Yeah.
Most of them, unfortunately, had already passed away before I got into quilting, like really got into quilting. And so I was just on my own little island, and I wasn't really on, it was really before quilting was on social media a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I worked all the time. Most of the time, we didn't really have a quilt shop here. And so when I would finally get to go to a quilt shop, I was buying something to sew on for that weekend, because maybe I had a long weekend, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it wasn't, I've never really had a lot of fabric. And when I did buy, I picked up a fat quarter, or, I quickly learned, okay, a fat quarter is not really going to get you anywhere, so then I would buy half yards, and then I finally learned, okay, maybe I need a yard, and then I finally just got to the point, okay, if I really like it, it's 3 to 5 yards and done, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I have quite a few fat quarters, because clearly I was in that stage forever, but none of them match, because I didn't know what I didn't know. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't know that this fat quarter needed to connect to maybe at least 5 or 6 other fat quarters. Most quilts call for 10 to 12 fat quarters.
Right.
I didn't know what blenders were back in the day. I didn't know coordinating. Please, no, this one's got big flowers on it and it's pretty, let me buy it. Or this one's got frogs on it, let me buy it. And so unfortunately, a lot of my stash would be great if you're making small totes or the 2 fat quarter projects. But yeah, so it hasn't been until really the past 4 or 5 years, well, since owning SewEndipitious, that I've kind of started hoarding some fat quarter bundles and that kind of stuff. So I didn't realize I didn't have hardly any blenders or coordinating fabrics in my stash.
Yeah, I tend to buy, and I've kind of maybe it's because I'm a self-taught quilter, I'm not sure, but I've always kind of tended to buy by project. So I would have a project in mind before I went out to shop. But then of course, as I'm shopping for said projects, you know, other things jump in the cart. I don't know how that happens, but it just seems they like me. It's an attraction. I'm not sure, but so
but you have blenders and stuff in your stash. I've seen them, and that is something I've been working on the past couple of years, adding blenders into my thing, because I can't tell you how many times it would be 11 o'clock at night and I'm like, oh, let me sew something as simple as a little pouch. And I would not have that coordinating piece of fabric that could go with this really cute print.
Right.
And so therefore I couldn't do the project. I would have the zippers. I got zippers in every color. I've got buttons, but I miss that. And that kind of goes back to being around other quilters. And I talked about this in my live video this morning for SewEndipitious, because people are really missing out and hurting themselves as a quilter if you do not get involved with other quilters, whether it's through a quilt guild, you know, doing classes and stuff online, listen to us blab online is one thing, but to hang out with other quilters, oh my gosh, over the past 7 years, 8 years, whatever it's been that I've been part of the local guild, I've learned so much from those ladies. Like, it could be something so simple. And I'm like, man, I didn't know that, because I was self-taught, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like even now. I mean, I teach quilting. I have a business surrounded of quilting, but I still learn things every day. Like I was showing you earlier, the little 1/4-inch rulers that I got for doing foundation paper piecing. I didn't even know they existed. And then I saw a video with them and I was like, oh my gosh, these are amazing. So, you know, I mean, yeah. And I know of quilters that have been quilting for 35 plus years and they still learn new things. Yeah. So it's constant. I think that's part of the fun too of quilting, is that it is a constant, you're constantly growing and changing and learning and creating, and you know, you get your mind going, and it's all good stuff. And it's been proven scientifically that it's good for your health to be creative and around people being creative.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, I did make fun of you when you showed me those rulers. That probably wasn't what one should do to another quilting friend, but you and I are so close, I can make fun of you.
Yes, I'm okay with that.
But the rest of you out there, if you just met me, I promise I will not make fun of you when you tell me that you did not know about a ruler that's been out for the turn of times. Her add a quarter rulers, but you did get the add a quarter plus.
Yeah, these are the rulers, by the way, and they literally are at a quarter. So if you're, because you know, like when you're doing foundation paper piecing, which I'm working on, I think 3 of them for my next book, or 3 of the quilts have foundation. Anyway, I'm doing foundation paper piecing, and when you fold the paper back to trim your 1/4 inch, that's what these are for. If you're like me and have never seen them before, it's a standard ruler, but it has the 1/4 inch and it's a lip on it. You can't really see it in the camera, but it's got a lip on it. So it sits right on that fold and you get that perfect 1/4 inch trim. And I was like, that's genius.
I'm just saying, Rona, before you left the Carolinas, maybe you should have took my foundation paper piecing 101 class.
I probably should have. That's true.
I would have never. See, and this is funny. So we're so off topic of organization, but this is good stuff. So a lot of times, I was going to say, so a lot of times we do not share with another fellow quilter something because we assume they already know it. Steve jumps on me all the time because he'll ask me a question, or he'll say, shouldn't we put this detail right on something he's marketing over the years? And I'll be like, no, they already know that, Steve. And he'll give me the look. You know it, but maybe they don't. So knowing your background, and like you said, this is how you make a living, is in quilting, and you're a pattern designer and whatever, all the other craziness you're in, I would have never dreamed when you told me a month, 2 months ago, I'm making these quilts that's for the book and there's paper piecing in it. I would have never thought to say, by the way, Rona, do you know about the add a quarter ruler?
Yeah.
We just assume everybody knows everything. And
It's
that's why
very
it's
true.
great to talk. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and you can only get so much from YouTube, you know.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, YouTube videos are fantastic. I have a channel and I do watch
Subscribe
the how-to
now,
videos.
right?
What?
Subscribe now to your channel.
Yes, exactly. Subscribe. It's Rona the Ribbiter, traveling quilter. Anyway, but yeah, so I mean, and I watch a lot of those how-to videos and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times, even those, they'll skip over, you know, and just assume that you know how to do X. And yes, it happens a lot. And that's another reason why I love taking classes. Even as a teacher, I still take classes from other teachers and still watching all that stuff because you're constantly picking up. Plus, the market is always changing. There's always new things being invented and brought out, and like these rulers. And there's another spray stuff that I knew about before. I just need to get some. You can spray the bottom of your rulers so that when you press down, they don't move.
It has the grippy, yeah.
Yeah.
But talking about the YouTube videos or on Facebook or Google, whatever, you don't know what you don't know. So you can't say, show me a ruler with a lip, da da da.
Exactly.
You can't request a YouTube video that you don't already know at least a little bit of the information.
Right. You have to have at least a prompt.
Yeah. So hang out with your friends so they can make fun of you when you don't know something.
Right. And just so in case anybody watching right now has not been following the comments, my husband has joined the conversation and he's always good for a laugh. So definitely read the comments because he was telling that when I giggled earlier at an inappropriate time, and I'm sorry about that. Stefan had posted, he's told you, Lisa, that you need to shop at Rona Mart.
I would love to shop at Rona Mart, but she packed up and moved her store away. And she had a lock on all her cave fabric. I'm just saying.
I do. Cave and my frond fabrics. Those two are very near and dear to my heart, I must
Absolutely.
say.
So Rona, right here, I was going to mention, so you see these metal wire baskets?
Yes.
These were a new addition to the room while we were doing, or while I was doing organization, because remember I was talking about how much depth, and I was like, what can I do? And I, believe it or not, found these. I had never been to Lidl's. I think, is that the name of the grocery store?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lidl. Mm-hmm.
So one day I was driving by and I wanted some fresh fruit. And I remember someone telling me that it was a good place to get fruit cheap. And I was like, let me pop in there. They had these, and all they do is slide on. So they're not screwed or anything. They slide on and off. So I got several of these and just inserted them. You can only see 2 here, but I probably bought like 8 of these. So these were fabulous. So on the other side, these right here is just, okay, y'all, I love stationery bags and totes, but these are all just like notebooks that I'm either using, haven't used, but anyway, that's sad. That's not even a beginning. That's all that would fit there in life, like journals and all that. But anyway, I have several of these on the other side, and I put my most active projects in them. Yeah. So I could just slide it out. But these were cool. I didn't have to use a screwdriver. So that was fabulous.
Oh, that's always good. Yeah. Because like I was saying earlier, the walls down here, and the hanging stuff is a bit tricky. So I like, there's this corner over here that is where my sewing machine is, and it's kind of my workstation area. I'm actually sitting on my cutting table, but this corner was dark because the lights are towards the center of the room on the ceiling, not in the corners. So we went and bought, I just went to Walmart and I got a string of those. They're not Christmas lights, but they're indoor-outdoor lights that have the big brown bulbs. And they have a warm, soft light. And we just kind of strung them like back and forth. And oh my gosh, 1, they add a ton of light on this corner, but 2, they also look really good. They're very like,
they make you happy.
But yes, they make me happy. It's a warm light, and it's just, it kind of brightens things up and makes it more homey looking. And what I did is I have 2 main walls. One of them, or well, this one that's on this side is my entire design wall is up there. So the one that is behind the camera, that's the wall that I'm hanging all of my work stuff. So as soon as we get the pegboard up, that's where all the rulers and templates and all that kind of stuff go up there. And then I have my tack board for my, projects I'm working
Right.
on. And then I decided that the wall above my sewing machine, where I do a lot of my work, that's where all my creative stuff is. So like I have a couple of photos that I took when we were in Ireland. I
Right.
have this amazing hand carved Egyptian plate that's from Egypt that my choir teacher gave me when I was in grade school, because her
Wow.
family is Egyptian. So I have that up on the wall, just different things that inspire me that I can look at every day. And, and it brings it all together and helps
Makes you
make it your
happy.
happy space. Yeah,
It's exactly happy space. So I had to chuckle when you were talking about adding those lights. So when I moved in this house, I finally got a room that has pink walls. I always wanted pink walls when I was growing up. I never got them. Pretty much any other color, but I just never landed on pink. So most of you guys know, if you've been watching us over and over. So my brother lives upstairs and I live downstairs, and he was part of the remodel of this house and everything. So I finally got my pink walls. Well, he went, oh my gosh, I don't even know if much stuff had been moved in. He got me pink Christmas lights, and he outlined the window in here with pink Christmas lights. And I don't even know how many years we've been in this house. 6, 7, I don't know. It's the same lights. They're still working. This is like the best Christmas lights ever. Because Christmas lights, if you get 2 seasons out of them, like, you're doing good.
Right.
They never are unplugged. They have been on 24/7 all of these years.
Oh my goodness.
So
okay, 2 quick things.
They make me happy is the moral story.
Yeah.
I get your lights.
Right. So in the comments, I just want to, Stefan, I will agree. He said that I did none of this, the hanging stuff up, none of it until this contest. So that is true.
Of course.
Nothing was up on the walls, except my design wall. That was the very first thing that went up when we got here. But also Brenda said that her guild, they do a bring your favorite tool meeting at least once a year. So that is a really, really good idea. If you're in a quilt guild, to have like you can suggest that to your project, or not project,
program manager.
Program, that's the word. Thank you. Program manager. And suggest that. Do like
bring your favorite tool. I like that, Miss Brenda. Thank you for sharing that. That is really good. If it's a tool that needs demoed, maybe they need to also do a demo. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the guild, that is fabulous. I will definitely have to suggest that to my guild. I like that.
I do too.
I was going to say a while ago, you were talking about having your peg walls with your tools, in other words, like rulers and whatever hung on it.
Yep.
When people are perusing the photos, I remember seeing a photo from one of our viewers where, if memory serves me, her rulers are all hung on the back of one of her doors. I'm almost positive. So when I seen the picture, I remember thinking, oh, she utilized every space, because some of us are limited on space.
Yes.
And I didn't pay attention how they were hung. I'm sure it was probably by those 3M hooks, where they are sticky or whatever, but it was a white door and she had all of her rulers on it. So the cool thing is, all of our rulers are see-through except for, the numbers and lines and stuff. So on them being hung on that white door was almost perfect, because it really highlighted like the rulers in itself.
Right.
So if you get a chance, everybody go out there and look for that photo, because I really did like how she did that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, because before I am grateful every day for having the space that I now have to work, because you saw the house in North Carolina, literally the dining room, that was my sewing room. So very limited space. And I know a lot of people that sew in their dining room, but they also eat in their dining room, so they have to put their stuff away. Right. So yeah, all kinds of any kind of creative, useful things for using up space like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, space is a challenge. Let's be real, we're quilters. So you can give us a small room, we will fill it up. You give us the whole top floor, we're filling it up. Yes. Give us a basement, we're filling it up. you cannot, that one of the and I know whose pictures these is, but like I said, I won't say names because we kept names off of them. But one of the ladies that I know personally out of our local quilt guild, she sent pictures of her space, and I want to say it also, Rona, looks like maybe it's in a basement. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but anyway, her space is humongous. So I was so jelly because she has these big tables that are converted into, a place to iron your big quilting top. And
Oh, wow.
her, when you look at the pictures, now her before pictures, her before pictures look like after pictures to me. I was like, please, if my room was that put together, I wouldn't even worry about anything.
Yeah, I know exactly which pictures you're talking about because I thought the exact same thing. I was like, wait, these are after ones, aren't they?
I know. Well, when I was putting them in the album for you and Steve, and the albums were labeled before and after, it was so funny because I really struggled putting her pictures in the before folder because I was like, these are not before. Now, of course, she had like a picture of it was either a basket or a drawer showing like down into like some of her fabric or whatever. But even that, I was like, please, that still look good to me. So
when I was uploading those onto Facebook, I had the same thing. I saw those and then I was like, I think Lisa may have mislabeled these because these look like after photos. But yeah, I'm curious to see the improvement because they looked amazing as they were.
exactly. There was several ladies, I know for a fact ladies. I hate to keep saying ladies because we got gentlemen viewers and gentlemen quilters, but there's two in particular that both of these ladies, when they sent their before pictures, back a month ago, whenever it was that we were having them send in, I was just like, oh, you'd have a heart attack if you seen my contraption right now, And then of course I got some other before pictures from a couple other people, and I was excited because I was like, okay, they're living in the nightmare I am. I'm not by myself, And two, with that being said, one of the ladies, and I will say her name because her name is posted to it, Evie. She posted last month a video of her room underneath our, I think it was under our Quilt Babble Live episode. And of course, because it was a video, I couldn't move and shuck and jive it anywhere. But if you guys have not seen that yet, go check out her before video. And we'll be curious to see her after video.
Yeah, absolutely. So Brenda commenting, Brenda is full of good ideas today. So she said that her sister has all her stabilizers and interfacings in a hanging shoe organizer, hanging in the closet. So I actually did that at the old house. What I did, the two shelves, the big shelves behind me, I actually had them spaced out a little bit, and I put up a curtain rod across so I could put a curtain over them so that it would help with distractions, at least so I thought. But in between them, I hung a shoe organizer like that, but instead of having the interfacings in it, I had my projects, because like I said, I always have multiple going on at once. So that's what I did with mine, is I had the projects organized in those hanging shoe organizers.
That is fabulous. What is Brenda's last name? Because I can't see chat.
I don't know how to pronounce.
I'm pronouncing it Labie, L-A-B-B.
I know who you're talking about. I know Miss Brenda. So yeah, I just want to know so I could pick Brenda's brain for more later, because you're right. She is on it tonight because, once again, like you think about, you've only got so much room in your room, but if the room does have a closet, that's a way to hide the less pleasing things that we use. I mean, who cares? Look at stabilizers. They're all white, for the most part. Yeah. Right. So if we can hide those in a closet in a shoe thing, fabulous. Because we'd rather have cute things like Wizard of Oz hanging out where we can see it.
Or Keith,
Or 20 frogs.
Or 20 frogs. Well, no, more like 30 or 40. But yes, or a bunch of frogs.
I love it. Well, listen, Rona, we only have about 10 minutes left.
Oh, wow.
I want to remind everybody, you have till April the 30th at midnight to get your pictures in for the challenge. And sometime that week, Rona and I will coordinate to pop on real quick for a real quick live to do our drawings. Remember Tracy, my local motor rep, she donated a prize to us. Sorry, I don't have it tonight to show you, but really nice prize. If I remember correctly, it's a little fat quarter bundle and then some other pre-cuts. They're all color coordinated. You could totally make a quilt out of it. So that was fabulous. SewEndipitious also is going to be giving away a $25 gift certificate. So get those pictures in. It's not too late. Our next episode is on May the 16th. We will release the topic of conversation next week during our live that Rona and I do, or after April the 30th. And that live will release that. But in the last few minutes, Rona, tell us where you're headed. What's going on in the travel quilters world?
So next week I am headed out to Racine, Wisconsin for a guild visit out there for doing a lecture. And then I apologize, I don't have the name of the guild in front of me. But then I'm home for a week after that, and then I leave I'll be gone another week I've got a guild stop in Pennsylvania. Then I'm going to do a filming in Hershey, Pennsylvania, because why not? And then I'm headed out to visit my friend Arlene, who is amazing. You should look her up if you like cookies. AuntCookie.com. They're her family recipes.
They're yummy.
They're so delicious. So I'm going to be visiting with Arlene for a couple of days. We're going to be actually doing, for the first time ever, I'm having professional photos taken for the website and stuff. I'm super excited. And then I've got a guild visit. Oh, I'm going to be spending the day in Philadelphia doing some filming and stuff for the blog, because I've never been to Philadelphia, but I'm huge history, especially Revolutionary War, American history. I love all that stuff. So Liberty Bell, Independence Hall. What?
In the Bell of Liberty there in Philadelphia?
Yeah, the Liberty Bell's there, Independence Hall, all that stuff. I'm super excited. And then I have a guild visit in New York. And then I keep thinking it's not Syracuse, but I keep thinking Syracuse. It's not. It's just north of Manhattan, and I can't think of the name of it. Saved my life. I'm so sorry. But yeah, and then I'm home. So then I'm home again until the Kansas City show, Kansas City Quilt Festival in June.
Wow.
Then I have a guild visit in Georgia in July, and then we're off to Iceland. And I think we may actually still have a couple spots left for the Iceland tour. Brand new workshop for the tour that I'm going to be doing, and everybody gets a goodie bag from me that goes on the tour. It's worth over $100. It's going to be awesome. And I have a brand new t-shirt that arrives on Thursday. So
my word, that is insane. One thing that you did not mention that you and I talked about earlier is the new edition list. You know,
oh yeah, we have a new list. So I actually have help now with all the lists on the website, because right now we have the quilt shows by year, we have the museums around the world, the quilt shops by state, all that stuff. But my plan was to always add more lists for the quilting world. So now I finally have help doing that. And we are currently working on a quilting retreat center list. So if you know of a quilting retreat center or you own one, please send me the information. You can message me here on Facebook. You can send it to info@ronatherribbiter.com. And hopefully we'll have the list up on the website within the next couple weeks.
And what is your website URL for those that may not know exactly who you are and how to get to all your lovely lists if they're traveling abroad?
It is ronatherribbiter.com. And once we have the retreat centers up, I mean, like I said, I have a whole slew of things more lists that we're going to be building for the website.
Fabulous, fabulous.
So what's in store for SewEndipitious?
SewEndipitious.
Did you see the pun there?
Do what?
Did you see the pun? Did you catch what's in store?
Yeah, what's in store? So there is tons in store. You know, right now we are getting ready for our spring crafters market. We did one last year in the fall. It was just a way to let the local men and women that, you know, make these amazing gifts and homemade or handcrafted whatever word I'm trying to say,
Yeah,
artisans,
that.
a place for them to be able to sell, you know, the things that they make, and for other local people to take advantage of those beautiful items and use them as gifts. So we did that for a holiday crafters market, and it went amazing. So everybody wanted one for the spring. So we are having that April the 28th and 29th, I think it is. It's the last Friday and Saturday of this month, so less than 2 weeks away. We have 13 or 14 vendors. Everything that they have been making to get ready for this has been things with Mother's Day in mind, Father's Day, you know, your graduates, patriotic stuff for Memorial Day weekend, 4th of July. So lots of things for that. There's some really cool vendors that are also handcrafted, but not so related. So that's going to be fun. And then of course we're getting ready for, yet again, I can't believe we're almost here. All Carolina Shop Hop, that will be coming later in this year. And, you know, we start revving up early. And then there's a couple things, Rona, I cannot share because I'm under secret. One of them I will release in the morning. I always do a video every morning, you guys. As you know, on SewEndipitious Facebook, every day we're open, I do a live video. So one of the cool things that is coming to SewEndipitious, I am showing in the morning. No one really knows about this. We did tell some of the staff members this evening. So can't wait for that big reveal in the morning. And then there's much more to follow after that. So keep an eye on SewEndipitious. Super excited.
Oh, yeah.
I know you don't even know, Rona.
There's a ton more coming that I can't talk about. There's even stuff coming that you and I are working on together that we can't talk about yet. So, I mean, tons. The next like 2 years are gonna be amazing.
It really is, you know. Oh my gosh, I love it. Like you said, the quilt world has so many different avenues in it. You never get bored. All the people that we meet and we get to talk to, they're just so amazing, so inspiring in so many different ways. You know, it's just like last month, you know, with Brandy, she's not even in the USA. But when you're talking quilt language, there's no boundaries, no borders,
Nope.
you know?
Nope.
It's
yeah. And Stefan just said, yes, a super secret squirrel, top nut level stuff.
That's exactly. We use secret squirrel stuff. Actually own that LLC, secret squirrel stuff. We do. SewEndipitious operated under secret squirrel stuff for the first 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Just with a DBA of SewEndipitious. Now, of course, we're full legit SewEndipitious trademarked and the whole 9 yards. But right. Yeah, so you tell Stefan, we know secret squirrel stuff.
Intimately, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for sharing your pictures with us and letting us in your sewing or creative space. You know, it takes a brave person to post those pictures. It's about being vulnerable. And when you guys sent those pictures to Rona and I, that really let us know that you all care about us and that you respect us, because I can tell you right now, I wouldn't have taken those pictures for nobody. But I love you guys and I just want to connect with you guys. And Rona, I know you feel the same. That's why we shared our before pictures.
Well, yeah, it's literally, you guys were inviting us into your homes and your personal space, and we don't take that lightly. We're very, very appreciative and grateful for everybody out there for following us and watching us babble on about various quilting things, or joining us in the Traveling Quilters group or the SewEndipitious group, or visiting the shop or the website. I mean, yeah, you guys are awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. So don't forget, April 30th by midnight, you can email those pictures to either me or Rona. My email is Lisa Renee at lisareneinc.com. Rona, your email is?
You can email them to Rona at ronatheribbiter.com, or you can put them, if you feel comfortable putting them in the comments, you can do that, or you can private message either the Quilt Babble Live Facebook page, my Facebook page, Lisa's Facebook page, SewEndipitious, wherever you feel comfortable.
Absolutely. Yeah. that's the reason I don't want to say names of the ones that sent them private, because they may have done that intentionally. And some just posted them, for everybody, to see their name. Either way, we just want to make sure that you can get a hold of us. Now, also, just like Rona said, we have episodes planned out, and boom, boom, boom. If you guys would love to be a guest with us on camera, like we had Brandy last year, if there's a topic that's near and dear to your heart, and you want to share, send us a message about that also, because we're always looking for guest people to appear and babble with us.
Absolutely, because we were talking about maybe doing a roundtable type episode in the future, and
Yep.
and we love having people visit us and come hang out with us for a while.
That's right, guys. It is 8:00, as I'm going to say, and I know Rona will have her goodbye, but Lisa always says, thank you for tuning in to Sewendipitious, and as always, it is where unexpected happiness is found in every stitch. Rona?
Yeah, mine's not. I just hoppy quilting.
Hoppy quilting. I love it. I love it. Guys, thank you so much. And we will see you soon.